So, Season 5 Reloaded was officially revealed for Modern Warfare 2 today, and while we learned about a decent bit of what's upcoming in an official capacity, things like the new map for multiplayer of DRC Zone 1, a new, in air quotes, resurgence map for Warzone, a new weapon camo challenge set, new weapon balancing, new quality of life features, and more, today I wanted to focus a bit more on the functional aspect, kind of flip the normal rotation of coverage here a bit. Today, we're focusing on the new weapons in Modern Warfare 2 Season 5 Reloaded, what they are, how they'll likely play in-game, and how to unlock them and everything in between. So as we go along, drop your thoughts down below. What are you thinking about for Season 5 Reloaded in Modern Warfare 2? Anything in particular you're hoping for, you like, dislike out of what we've seen so far? Whatever the case, drop your thoughts below. If you enjoyed the video, you found it at all insightful, do me a favor and drop a like on it. And as well, if you're new to the channel, consider subscribing and stay up to date with all things Modern Warfare 2 ahead of and beyond Season 5 Reloaded, as well as staying up to date with all things Modern Warfare 3, X-Defiant, and more. I'd love to have you in the community. And finally, a special thanks to Delta Force for sponsoring this video, but more on them a little later. For now, let's jump into the discussion about Modern Warfare 2 Season 5 Reloaded's new weaponry. So with Season 5, initially we saw laid out was 4 weapons, air quote, in season, one of which we've already seen unlockable and surprisingly only unlockable organically through the Shadow Siege event for the reveal of Modern Warfare 3. Kind of assumed the M13C would be available in an in-game challenge after that, but doesn't seem to really be the case. The only other counterpart right now is to pre-purchase the game digitally or get it through DMZ by somebody dropping it for you and exfilling with it. Now granted, I think the only attachment difference is that of the barrel, correct me if I'm wrong, I don't have it unlocked, and it's like only 11 levels for the weapon, but that's not the only sort of alteration weapon we'll see coming with mid-season, as we'll have 3 more weapons with Wednesday's update. In the Season 5 Reloaded update, we'll see a melee, sidearm, and SMG, the Pickaxe, the 9mm Daemon, and the Lachmann Shroud. The Pickaxe is, well, a pickaxe melee, the Daemon is a staccato 2011, a more modernized 1911, and the Lachmann Shroud is the game's MP5 SD variation. Again, a continuation of that sort of expanded arsenal style, comparable to how the M13 has the M13B and now the M13C. Now, we're able to breeze past the Pickaxe and what it is because it's simply described as this heavy-duty melee weapon enables quiet and deadly operations behind enemy lines with best-in-class damage and range. The 4th secondary melee tool in the box, the Pickaxe is a heavy hitter that may not bring down walls, but does bring down operators with aggressive swiftness. Now, I do kind of always find it funny how melees are ever branded best-in-class, since, well, generally they're all the same. Not entirely, but generally speaking. But with this one being described as a best-in-class for damage, I imagine it's a one-hit kill as opposed to like the Tonfas, which are 2 hits. And with it saying it's best-in-class as well for range, kind of imagine we're going to see maybe a little more lunge or range by comparison to others, making it a decent choice here for anybody that may be interested in meleeing. Next, the 9mm Daemon or Demon, described as this modern tactical pistol chambered in 9mm, is deadly from the hip and features best-in-class semi-auto fire rates. The sidearm category grows deeper with the new addition, set to rival the P890 and X12 for the low caliber and semi-auto throne. Whether kitted for accuracy as a sole sidearm or done akimbo, the 9mm is true to its name. This is a hell of a secondary weapon choice. So a bit actually can be deciphered here from this. Firstly, it's chambered in 9mm, built out to rival the P890 and the X12, so that's sort of a baseline for how I'd expect it to play. Maybe somewhere in between the slightly upped damage of the P890 and maybe not as much a trigger delay and fire rate reduction, but also more powerful than perhaps that X12, but not as fast firing. So kind of in the middle there, but we also know that we'll see akimbo coming here in the rear grip category, as mentioned, so you'll be able to spam it a bit if you want to. Doesn't sound half bad, we'll have to see how it lives up. My only concern is for viability of this weapon beyond just playing with pistols and being a sidearm aficionado, because things like the F-Tac Siege still are probably better options for full auto. That's something you'll probably see in ranked play a lot more by comparison to a P890 or this 9mm. If there's a water ending or something like that in Warzone, you just can't really have that comparison with an X12 P890 to like an F-Tac Siege or something. The fire rate just can't keep up. And finally, the Lachmann Shroud, if I'm honest with you, might be reading a little too far into this, but it's the MP5 SD variation here in the game, and probably the closest we'll see in naming to that being accurate with a Lachmann platform. First and last letter of Shroud, SD. Lachmann, or MP5 SD. But anyways, my tinfoil hat naming theory out of the way, it's described as this stealthy and lethal 9mm submachine gun, features burst and semi-auto fire modes, which allow for considerable mobility and stopping power out to mid-range. Integrated suppressor weapons like the M13C and Fennec show their strength in clandestine operations. Now the Lachmann platform is getting its own stealth powerhouse. The Lachmann Shroud, perfect for close-range engagements, especially when staying off the grid, is paramount to mission success. So with relation to how the weapon seems to be acting, the wording makes it seem like it'll be only burst or semi-auto, but I also can't imagine that being the case, especially since the weapon image provided does have that full auto, burst, and semi-auto switch in the inspect feature. But integrated suppressor on this, partially assuming that it'll be another low-level weapon like the M13C is, with only a handful of new attachments at best. There was, I want to say, one stock or barrel that was added but never unlockable for the Lachmann sub a long while ago. That's probably what we'll end up seeing come here with this, either in addition to or as that integrated suppressor. But I'm expecting this to be fully a low-level weapon, not offering a whole ton in regards to new attachments. In regards to how it'll play, I think you'll probably be able to kit a similar Lachmann sub right now, silenced, and you'll have similar build quality. So will it be one that you have to pick up? Probably not. It's up to you, but I kind of envision this being like a slightly better version of a silenced Lachmann sub, especially because it affords you one more attachment to work with, given the integrated suppressor is at its core. But we'll have to see how it all works out. So next up is how we unlock these weapons, but before we jump into that, I want to take a few seconds to mention another FPS title upcoming that we may be covering more in depth here on the channel, and today's video sponsor, Delta Force. That name may sound familiar to you, and if it does, it's because Delta Force was a pioneer in the FPS genre all the way back in 1998. The upcoming Delta Force project is a resurgence of the franchise, modernizing and introducing new and returning ways to play, and being available for all major platforms: PlayStation, Xbox, PC on Steam and the Epic Games launcher, as well as coming to mobile for both Android and Apple devices. Coming along with 3 different modes: Extraction, Great Battlefield, and Black Hawk Down modes, players will be able to have the ability to play a narrative-driven campaign following a former Delta Force commander, leading an elite task force to investigate the case of a missing high-tech CEO, and a revolutionary group from North Africa that reveals a set of scandals and conspiracies, an extraction mode to emphasize the tactical and strategic nature with PvPvE missions, and a large-scale combat mode taking on land, sea, and air combat. Launching with at least 4 operator classes of Assault, Engineer, Support, and Recon, it puts more of a modernized spin on the gameplay loop of the classic that you may remember. The game looks like a melting pot of a ton of different ideas and gameplay, and honestly, I'm looking forward to seeing how this one plays out, where it goes. Not to mention, it'll be free to play, so if you want to check it out, there is no barrier of entry, which is always nice when it comes time for launch. If you'd like to check it out for yourself, learn a bit more about the game and the plans upcoming, check the official website for Delta Force down below and pre-register for the game. If you do, there are some rewards that do come along with that once the game does eventually reach a certain number of pre-registers, but again, all linked down below, and a special thanks once again to Delta Force for sponsoring this video. So back to it. Unlocking these weapons are actually a little bit of a twist of how we've seen before, and honestly, kind of surprised me a bit seeing it laid out as it is. In our video on Friday, we talked about the preview of Season 5 Reloaded and how the MX Guardian kind of showcased a new template perhaps for how weapons will be introduced, and because we only saw one, I kind of assumed, maybe we'll only be getting one of 3 weapons in this Battle Pass sector sort of way of introducing them. But surprisingly, we don't see just one, not even 2, but all 3 weapons will be associated in that Battle Pass sector. All free items, of course, so you don't necessarily need to buy into the Battle Pass. But the difference is that these are challenge tiers, not timed tiers or anything like that. Again, that you're limited in terms of a minimum amount of playtime to unlock them. Instead, each tier will have a challenge associated with it, and then unlocking the 4 prior will unlock the challenge for the Lachmann Shroud. Those challenges up until that point, including the Pickaxe for the base weapon there, to get 15 operator kills with melee weapons, the 9mm Daemon or Demon tasks you with getting 15 operator headshots with pistols, and then when you finally unlock the weapon challenge for the Lachmann Shroud, you have to complete all 4 initial sectors of that E0 challenge set, and then get 30 operator hipfire kills with the SMGs. So for the Shroud, it seems like you'll have to unlock the challenges for the XP tokens that come along with it, and it's not as easy as simply just unlocking the other 2 weapons, but these challenges present hopefully not too large of a hurdle, but as the weapons themselves seem pretty simple enough that hopefully it doesn't take it too much longer. My only gripe with how this kind of stuff is now going forward being unlocked is that you need to have the adjacent sectors of the map unlocked and finished to access this. So if you haven't touched the left side of the Battle Pass, perhaps, you may not have access to this immediately. You need to have completed or unlocked either E2, E3, E5, E13, or the Task Force 141 Factions Showdown sector to access this. So granted, it's probably like a small percentage of players who don't have those tiers unlocked or have the ability to unlock these new challenges, but it's just still an odd one to me why they would do this instead of just having the unlocked challenges that we'd seen present the last couple of years that nobody really had any issue with. So if you can get past that, you'll have the ability to unlock these challenges right out of the gate on Wednesday, and again, hopefully unlocking these in a timely manner. Now, do I still prefer just the straight up weapon challenges and create a class and not be chained together to complete certain challenges to unlock another challenge for a certain weapon? Of course, that's something that I'd much prefer still, again, just the base weapon challenges, and this kind of seems like a current gimmick that they've got going, but that's where we're at here at this, and that's how you unlock the weapons, what weapons will be coming, and how you should be anticipating them to play here come Wednesday and the update for Season 5 Reloaded. So that is what we're going to call it. Let me know your thoughts down below. What do you guys think of these challenges here? What do you think of the weapons? Do you like the 3 weapons we have on offer? Were you hoping to see more or less? Maybe not tied to Battle Pass sectors for challenges? Whatever the case, drop your thoughts down below. If you enjoyed the video, you found it at all insightful, do me a favor and drop a like on it. And if you're new to the channel, consider subscribing to stay updated with all things, again, Season 5 Reloaded here upcoming and beyond. Modern Warfare 3 content as we gear up for a multiplayer reveal, probably end of September, early October, then followed by the beta and the full launch. And of course, X-Defiant, well, that could be dropping at any point. So if you guys want to stay up to date with everything here regarding that and maybe even some more games, I'd love to keep you up to date with all that kind of stuff. So consider subscribing. But for now, that's what we're going to call it. So thanks so much for watching. Mine has been Espresso. I'll see you later. Take care and peace.